Hi, it's Mrs. Grousland. I'm here to teach you Unit 7, Lesson 11 on mean, median, mode, and range. Our learning target for today is given a set of data, I can find the mean, median, mode, and range. Now by data, guys, we're just talking about numbers. Okay, so we're going to start out with the mean, which maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. Please open your textbook to page 337, grab a pencil. I don't think you're going to need scratch paper, but boy, if you have a calculator, today is a fantastic day to get that out. All right, let's talk about mean. Mean is really another word for the word average, and I know you've heard of the word average. We often hear on the news the average temperature for this time of year, or you could ask your friends, what's the average average allowance for a fifth grader? So average is kind of like the middle, right? And all the data that we're going to look at today, we're going to kind of find the middle, and we're going to define the middle in a little different way. The first way we're going to find the middle of all those numbers is the mean. Look at number 1 with me. It says Davis made 4 clay pots on Friday, 7 clay pots on Saturday, and 4 clay pots on Sunday. What's the mean number of pots he made each day? Make a drawing to show how the pots for each day can be redistributed to find the mean. Now, if you want to, you can copy the model that I'm going to show you. Otherwise, you can just sit back and relax and watch what I have up on the board. All right, so I've got some counters here, and this one right here is Friday. So there's 4 clay pots for Friday, 7 for Saturday, and 4 for Sunday. And what we're asking you to do is to kind of make those columns the same height. Okay, so watch what I do. I'm going to move this one over here to make this Sunday's column a little taller, and then I'm going to move this counter over here. And now you can see I have the same number of counters for each day. How many is it? 5. So we can say the mean or the average for this set of data is 5. So back in your textbook, we're going to write 5. All right, let's do another one, and I'll show you how you can make your own model. Serena, Marco, and Ray each have a fish tank. Serena has 5 fish, Marco has 6 fish, Ray has 10 fish. What is the mean number of fish that the 3 friends have? So I'm just going to use X's for mine. I'm going to put an S for Serena up at the top, and I'm going to do 5 X's. And then I'm going to do Marco. Marco has 6, so I'm just going to line these up next to each other, and I'm going to put one more than Serena. And then Ray has 10, so I'm going to again line these up with the other 2. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost ran out of room there. So we want to even these columns out. So clearly Ray has more than the others, so we're going to spread some of Ray's fish over to the other ones. Just look at that for a moment and see if you can figure out how you can reconfigure that so they all have the same amount. Don't add any, don't take any away, just change the way it looks on the board. All right, I'm not sure if you can follow my messy handwriting here, but I realized that if I took Ray's fish here and put it over here on Serena's, everybody would have at least 6. But then I had these 3 left down here. So what I did from there is I had 3. I've got 3 kids. I gave 1 to Serena, I gave 1 to Marco, and I kept 1 with Ray. So now they all have the same number of fish. Okay? Now they all have how many fish? Figure that out. So they all have 7 fish. All right, so that's one way of solving it. You could make X's, you could make circles, you could use some little counters, but it's kind of a pain when you have a lot of numbers or if you have a lot of big numbers. So I'm going to show you a way to calculate it without drawing any pictures at all. Down at the bottom it says calculate the mean. Just means find the mean. Don't get thrown off by that word calculate. So here's how we're going to do it, and I would suggest you write this tip somewhere in the space in between there. So to find the mean, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to add the numbers, so all the numbers in your list. So let's do that with this first one. So we're going to add 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. You can do that on your calculator if you want to. It adds up to 25. So that's our first step. That's not the mean, because think about it. 25 would not be anywhere in between those numbers. Second thing is you're going to divide, this is going to sound strange, but you're going to divide by the number of numbers. What? Okay, write that down. Divide by the number of numbers. So how many numbers do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 numbers. So we're going to divide by 5. 5 numbers, divide by 5. What's 25 divided by 5? It is 5. Now, look at number 4. We're going to find the mean for that set of data, for those numbers. So first step, add up those numbers. Go ahead and do that. Pause the video. I'm hoping you got 49. If you count the numbers, there are 7 numbers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Divide by 7. 49 divided by 7. 7. Bam, boom. All right, now using your calculator, find the mean of these two. Remember, you're going to add the numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. Pause the video and do those two. If you did it correctly, you'd get 36 and 391. All right, turn your page and let's just talk about how you would do some of these. Okay, this one involves money. You would add them up, divide by 3 because you have 3 things here. Over here is another chart. So you've got the days of the week and the attendance at the fair. Find the mean for those. So you're going to add these up. And then how many do you have? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 5. Add them up, divide by 5. Pause the video and do that. I'm hoping you got what I got. So when you add these up, you get 3,960. There's 5 numbers divided out, and there's 792. That's the average daily attendance. So it's kind of a good idea when you find the average just to kind of see, does that answer seem reasonable? Does it seem like it's something in the middle of all these? And it does. The biggest mistake I notice kids do is they'll add them all up and they forget to divide by the number of numbers. And so they'll say that the average is 3,960. Now, if you go back and look and say, does that make sense? That's not even anywhere in between here. You'd know that you made a mistake. All right, so that's the mean. There's more practice problems on those pages if you want to try some. We're going to move on to the median. So I tell kids, you might be familiar with another word for the word median. So if you have a divided highway, bad drawing here. So you've got cars going one way, this way, and cars going this way, the other way. Can you follow this? There's a grassy area in between those two highways, divided highway. That area is called the median. The median's the middle. Okay. Now, the mean was also the middle, but the median is going to be the middle when you write all the numbers in order from least to greatest or from greatest to least. I would like for you right now to follow along with me as I read this, and I want you to underline something. The median of a set of data is the middle value when the values are listed in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. Biggest mistake kids make when they're doing this is they forget to put them in order. So here's a set of data right here, and they already have the numbers in order for us. So to find the middle, here's a really quick trick. So they're in order, least to greatest. Cross off the low one and the high one, the low one and the high one, and the one left in the middle is your median. Now, once in a while, you'll get a list of numbers that has an even amount of numbers. So take a look at this list right here, and there's only 4 numbers. They're already in order. Watch what happens. I go low, high, and then there's 2 in the middle. So you really can't cross off both of them. So to find the the median for that one, you're going to really find the mean of those 2 numbers. You're going to add these 2 numbers up and divide by 2. Remember how we did the mean? Add them up, divide by 2 because there's 2 numbers. And the median of those is 28.5. Again, it's a good idea to use your common sense and say to yourself, is 28.5 going to be in between those two? Does it look like it'd be partway in between there? And it does. All right, so we're going to scroll down to number 12. Again, there's another one up there with money. I'm just going to deal with these numbers that are not money. So during the first week of the fair, the daily totals of visitors were, looks familiar, right? 425, 556, 249, 425, 624, 780, 658. Find the mean and the median for the daily totals, okay? So I know you know how to do the mean. I want to focus on the median for just a moment. Let's do that first. So we're going to put those numbers in order from least to greatest. Some people like to write them going across. Some people like to do them going up and down. I'm going to do it going up and down just because I have more space, but you could certainly write them going across. So the lowest number in that list is 249. Now, if you have a really long list of numbers to keep track of, here's a tip. Just cross it off when you've used it already, and then you don't have to look at it anymore, and it makes your list a little shorter. So now I'm looking at the next numbers, and I see two numbers that are in the 400s. Those are the next biggest numbers. So I'm going to write those down, and I'm going to write them down twice. If they appear twice, I write them twice. If they appear 3 times, I write them 3 times. As many numbers as that number appears, you have to write it down. You can't just write it down once. Cross them off. So now I'm left with 556, 624, 780, 658. 556 is next. So I'm hoping you're writing these down too. And then I see 2 in the 600s. I've got 624 and 658. The 624 is next. 658. I'm running out of room. And then 780. Okay, here's another tip, because again, if you're dealing with a lot of numbers, it's easy to leave one out. So I count the numbers. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers there. All right, so I have all my numbers. They're listed from high to low. I'm going to cross off the high one, the low one, the high one. Low, high, low, high. There's one number in the middle. 556 is my median. All right, I want you to pause the video, and I want you to go back to our numbers. Hopefully you didn't scribble them out too much, but go back and find the mean. Remember, you're going to add them up, divide by the number of numbers. We know there's 7 numbers, so add them up, divide by 7. And you should have gotten 531. Notice how those numbers are different. They both are kind of in the middle, but they are very different. So depending on what you're trying to show as a statistician or a scientist or a mathematician, you might want to use the mean in your data, or you might want to use the median, or you might want to consider both of them. All right, next up we are going to do the range. The range is easy once you have your numbers written in order from least to greatest. The range is going to find it by subtracting the least from the greatest. So my greatest number was 780 here before. My least number was 249. All I have to do is subtract those and I have the range. Don't forget to borrow. So my range is 531. All right, I would like for you to find the range for these 3. Remember, take the high one and subtract the low one. All right, I showed how you got the range in each of those, and the last one I just showed you the correct answer. Again, once you have the median done, you can just use your column from that one and subtract the high from the low. All right, I'm going to end the video here, and then if your teacher wants you to learn the mode, that's going to be in the next video, and also a little bit more practice. So hope you'll take a little bit of time to watch the next video. See ya!